What is up, everybody? It's Wednesday. Happy Wednesday to all of you guys that are tuning in. And thank you for you guys for being here today. On today's show, we're going to get into how to get 10,000 follows on Instagram per week. Not per month, not per year. I'm going to share some of the strategies I've used recently to grow my Instagram. It's blowing up. First of all, thank you. Thank you for following me. If you're not following me, I'm at the Chris Doe. And everybody that's here, if you guys have a question, if there's something you want to know, just harass me, interrupt me. It's totally fine. If I don't like what you're saying, I'll just ignore you. We'll move on, okay? So how to get 10,000 follows per week on Instagram. First, I got to tell you a little bit of story. The story is this, I challenged my pro community, which is about 280 people right now, to set a 2-week goal. And I wanted to participate in it. Usually I don't participate in my challenges, but I said, okay, I'm going to do it too. So my goal was to get 10,000 follows in 2 weeks. That was my sprint. And I did the math. What do I need to do to get 10,000 follows in 2 weeks? I figured out I needed to post twice a day, and to get an average of 405 follows per post. Now, prior to this point in time, I had only been posting about once every 3 to 22 weeks. 3 days, it was like very infrequent. I wasn't really minding this, but I set the goal thinking I was probably gonna fail. I'm gonna go for it anyways. Even in failure, we learn. First day I went to post, I only made 1 post that day. Not good. I was off to a really bad start. So I was like, this is bad. And it took me 6 to 8 hours to make that first post. It was a carousel post, okay? Tough. Next day, I told myself, this is not good. We have to get 2 posts a day. So I said, you don't get to eat until you finish your carousel. So that day, I had a late lunch, 2:30. I posted, and I felt a little strange. I was thinking, like, if I work on something in a shorter amount of time, would it affect the quality and the number of follows? Quality of the post and number of follows. To my surprise, it did not. And I knew I needed to get another one out. Now, mind you, I'm running a company, I'm talking to staff, there's a lot of stuff going on, and I needed to shorten the time. So what I've learned in that time, in the 2 weeks of posting twice a day, I'm gonna share with you right now. So let's get into it. You guys excited for this? Yeah, thank you. All right, that's some crowd participation, I like that. All right, let's get into it. Now, who here has a big following on Instagram? And big, like more than 5,000. Raise your hand, more than 5,000? Uh-oh, wrong. Okay, we're in the right group then. Okay, who has more than 2,000 follows? Only 1 person? Good for you. Look at you. Hey, I follow you. Oh, really? Okay, I like that. So, hey, all you young people, check out what she's doing. She's already got more than 2,000 follows. She's killing it. Okay, now, I do have to say this. It took me over a year to get to 5,000 follows. So what I'm saying to you is gonna sound like clickbait, but I'm gonna share what works for me, and hopefully it will work for you. And if it doesn't, you get your full refund. I'll give you your money back. Okay, here we go. Let's get into it now. All right. Before I dive into this, I have to talk a little bit about how social platforms work, or how I think they work. And we have to understand something, okay? What do all social platforms want you to do? They want you to spend more time on app, right? We know that. It's a competition. The more eyeballs, hopefully I don't screw up this drawing. Had a lot of tea this morning. They want more eyeballs watching their content. We know that. They want to also promote adoption of what? What do they want you to adopt? Adoption of what? Okay, this is okay. It's still early. Everybody, your brain is awake? Are we good? Okay. They want you to adopt new features. That makes sense, right? So they change the algorithm, and this is about as technical as I'm going to get about the algorithm because I'm going to be making stuff up after that. So they changed the algorithm to promote this. You guys understand that, right? Somebody made fun of me. He's like, you can't, that's the lamest arrow ever, and it's probably true. It's a lame arrow, okay? They want to promote. They're going to promote new features. So it's important for all of you to pay attention to what's changing. Every time they have a new feature, learn it, use it. Figure out what makes it work and what doesn't make work, okay? So one of the new features, and we're gonna focus today specifically on Instagram, but this is broadly applicable to kind of any social platform. You remember when 3D photos was popping up on Facebook? And then everybody was seeing 3D photos and everyone's like, how do you do that? So what they do is they roll out new features to early adopters, people who are very active on their program, and they just randomly turn them on. So somebody pays attention. So some features are available to some people while others are not. That's what's happening here, okay? They're going to pick their best content creators and usually turn them on and serve it up first. But what's the new thing that you guys been seeing on Instagram? Like, what is jamming up the social feed right now? Carousels. Thank you, Angel. Carousels. So carousels, the way that they're being used, and I don't know when it changed, but back in the day, I remember carousels were limited to like 3 slides or something like that. You couldn't post that many. But for whatever reason, they decided, let's up it to 10. So it's not exactly a new feature, but they changed it a little bit. And I always felt strange because I was very mindful of the grid. You guys know your grid, right? Your Instagram grid. You want it like all beautiful because we're graphic designers and we're very OCD. So we wanted to make it like a nice, pretty picture. And so like it bugged me. Like I have to plan all my posts. I have to think about this. And I wanted to post multiple things, but I thought if I post too frequently, it was going to hurt me. So the carousel is ideally designed for people who like to teach, who are good at sequential design to tell a story over time. And it's perfect because now I don't have to wait. I don't have to figure all this stuff out anymore. I can just post 10 at a time. And the first question people ask me is like, well, how many is the ideal number for a carousel? What's the answer to that? 10. You guys, who said that? Okay. Wait, did you say that? It sounded like a woman said that. You're very high pitched, like 10? Okay, all right. 10. And why should we post 10? Does anybody know why? Yes? She's super smart. If they give you 10 to use, right? If they give you 10 to use, why wouldn't you use 10? It makes total sense. But think about this. One swipe, everyone is an interaction. So your engagement is going up. And think about that. More swipes, more time on Instagram. Makes total sense. Okay. So what happens is then the algorithm dictates content. And you need to know this. It's happening everywhere. It's happening on Facebook. It's happening on YouTube, LinkedIn, right? Because why? As creators, we're concerned about this. We should be concerned about this. And this means ROI, return on investment. Your investment is time, creativity, and energy. You get inspired. You want to make something. And then you're like, the world's going to love you for it. This is going to go viral. You everybody think that before? This is going to go viral. And you put it out there, and it's like crickets on social media. Like 4 people liked it, and they're all related to you. That's not good. That's not a good return on investment, right? So we know this. We don't want to put a lot of time and energy into this because it gets depressing if you do stuff and you get no return on investment. So we have to play with the algorithm. You can fight it if you want, but ignore the algorithm to your peril. One last little thing to note. The big 3. Something interesting is happening right now, all right? You guys know who the big 3 are on social media? Does anybody know? LinkedIn, right? Let me write this. Well, we won't get into that just yet. Don't get ahead of me. You're right, but yes, LinkedIn. Yes? Okay. There's one that you're missing here. Okay, TikTok. I have to ignore because I'm not a teenager. Is it TIK? Yeah. Yeah, all right, TikTok, whatever. Twitter, yes, Twitter. Twitter have not figured it out. So now this is YouTube. Thank you very much. You guys are killing me. It's like YouTube's our main channel. You guys? Just a minute there. Okay. YouTube, right? Okay. Well, YouTube's owned by Google, right? We know that. Facebook owns Instagram. That's why I put them all here. Who owns LinkedIn? Oh, no. You can't answer that question. You work here. All right. Microsoft. Okay, so the real battle right now is happening between these 3. The companies have a lot of money. Microsoft, you know they have a lot of money. You know Google has a ton of money. And so this is where I want to hedge my bet. Because these other ones may disappear, but these ones, I think they have enough pocket, or deep enough pockets, they're going to stay in the game. So I think there's this wonderful thing that's happening. This is just me, based on 0 data. Just Chris knows brain. I researched my brain. I said, this is happening. I'm going to predict this right now. So Gary Vaynerchuk does this all the time. He makes a bunch of wild predictions. The ones that come true, he cuts back to that video. Remember in 2006 when I said this? So remember in 2025 when I said this? If this works out, if it doesn't, we'll delete this video. Okay, here's the thing that's happening. And I love this part. Now, when there's one player, because they have a monopoly, they pretty much just screw you over, right? We own all your content. We do whatever we want. And now you have to pay for other people that are your friends just to see your posts. Now check this out. Since Microsoft, they're not asleep at the wheel. They're not the sleeping giant. They know the game is on social, right? I'm just waiting for Apple to enter this. Maybe they'll buy them. I don't know. Then it'll get really interesting, right? Because we need companies that are competing against each other to fight for us. See, I think there's a shift happening from platforms to creators. That's you guys. Because look at this. You notice this trend that's been happening. There's been a lot of videos on this right now about YouTube burnout. Anybody here make videos on YouTube and get no views? Yeah. Yeah. She's like, no. So you make content on YouTube, and unless you're an OG creator or you're just like killing it on the algorithm, it's kind of difficult now because they've changed the algorithm to serve more content to more people for more creators. They're trying to democratize that. But the people who have spent a lot of time trying to build up their audience are no longer seeing that nice ROI. So what's happening right now? Gary Vaynerchuk talks about this. LinkedIn, the best, in terms of my opinion, next to TikTok, organic social reach. Until they make enough money, until they feel like they have enough of traction to compete, and then they're going to make money, for sure, because they're in business to be in business, right? So right now, what's happening is they want to lure creators, you guys, to post content organically, natively on their platform. This is good news for us. There's like more than one sheriff in town now. That means if you don't like the growth that you're getting on YouTube or Facebook, then move elsewhere to Instagram or to LinkedIn. Okay, historical, boring. You get to the 10,000 follows, bro. Okay, I'll get there. Any questions so far, live audience? Good job. Any questions so far? No, there we go. That's how we did. Thank you. All right, let's keep going. My gosh, what's this? Okay. Now, naturally, you're going to say, well, who do I make the content for? You don't make it for yourself. I know. It's sad. So don't show any pictures of you eating cake, 1,000 selfies, unless you're like super beautiful, and some of you guys are, I'm not saying. All right, if you are, then use what God gave you. Use what your mama gave you, okay? But otherwise, you have to start to serve an audience. And we have to move away from this idea of customers, okay, to an audience. The power, the influence, the money is here. The leverage is here, okay? Because when you chase customers, you'll be chasing them all your life. You build an audience like you guys. They'll show up for you. They might even buy a hat or a badge or a cap or something from you. That's kind of cool. That's really neat. And what happens is, people don't understand this. When you serve other people, they tell other people organically. And other people have an ability to hire you, to give you money, to pay for a sponsored post, to give you a publishing deal. Here's a little side story. Years ago, I was calling up publishers like, hey, I need help in publishing a book. Write a proposal, write an outline. I'm like, oh, okay, never mind. Now, because I have an audience and a following, a publisher recently called me, one of the biggest ones in design books, called me and said, Chris, hi, how you doing? You have an audience. We'd like to help you publish a book. I'm like, well, I don't know if I need it right now. See, the power is shifting. I love this. So a lot of people complain about the ills of the times are changing, but they're changing, and whenever one door closes, another door opens. That's an opportunity for you. Okay, so audience. So who are you targeting? Okay, so let's look at this. The people here, we have to know who our audience is. Who are our audience? Well, we know that they're creators, and they come from all kind of levels of the design sphere. So I won't call them graphic designers, but they're creators. We know that a lot of them are self-taught. How many people here are self-taught? Anybody? Make some noise, guys. Who here is self-taught? Woo! All right, see? That's changing. And my prediction, too, is like in 10 years, this idea of degree, not degree, it won't even matter anymore. Right now, it's still like, oh, I don't know. I don't feel safe about that. So we know that you're self-taught. A lot of you guys are in transition. You're moving, maybe like you're a career switcher. Anybody here a career switcher? You did something else, and now, okay. You guys know how this works, right? You got to make some noise. Yes, thank you very much. Okay, so you're transitioning. We know that. And some of you guys, I'm just going to say this. How do you spell gypped? How do you feel like bamboozled? You guys were bamboozled. You went to design school, right? You're disenfranchised. I know that. you were promised a beautiful, creative career that you can pay off your student loan in 5 years. You sold that bill, right? I see eyes rolling, I get it, right? You're disenfranchised. You did go to a school that sold you something, but you didn't get what you paid for. That's a problem. So we know that about you. And we know you're an international audience. You're men and women, all that kind of stuff. So that's what. And then the what is, what do you guys need? What do you need? What do you need? So once you identify your audience, who they are, what do they need? What do you guys need? So I think I know what you need. You need to get clients. You need to make money because you got to sustain your life. It's part of our mission, right? Help a billion creative people make money doing what they love. It's just that simple. And so how do you get clients? Well, you have to get known. Okay, so it's a logic tree. It makes sense, right? You need to get known. And so the cheapest, most effective way I know how to get known is to blow it up on social. Well, what are we talking about today? How to blow up on social. See? So you want to get known through social, right? It's accessible. Anybody can do it from anywhere. And your why. Why do you need to blow up on social? Well, your why would be, I need leads. I want validation that I know something. That makes sense. What else? Why would you want to get known and do this thing that you do? Share knowledge. I love that. You want to share. Inspire. Thank you. Anything else? Those are pretty good. What? Yeah, fulfillment. Yeah, fulfillment. Fulfillment. I know internet is like type police, so if I spell something wrong, guys, I'm trying to do a live show. We'll see what happens. Okay, so now we kind of know this. Now we know you're the creator. We know the audience. So I'm going to give you 2 prompts. Okay? 2 prompts. Task and gap. Okay, so if I think about you, what are you trying to do in your life every single day? If you just sit down and think about it for 1 second, and Seth Godin talks about this, can you pick out your audience from the crowd? What is your name, 2,000 follower? Sabine. Sabine, what's a day in your life like? I'm trying to imagine you. Like, what are you doing? Are you have any kids? Are you married? Are you single? You want to help designers? Hub? Okay. Hub for designers. Have we met before? Yes, we did. Now I know you. Yeah, it's like, as soon as you described it, I'm like, I think we've met before. Okay, Sabine. No, it's fine, right? Sabine. Okay. So then I try to think about your life, and if I can talk to you, it's even easier. But you can use your imagination. Creative people have a rich imagination. We're just usually busy thinking about how bad we are and how the world hates us. Use that imagination for something else. Think about somebody else for a second. Think about a day in the life of Sabine and what she's trying to do running this hub for designers, right? And then try to map it out. And once you get an understanding of that, what's the gap? Like, how can we help Sabine? So Sabine, tell us like one thing that you're trying to do that you haven't been able to do just yet. Should we get her a mic? I love that. Okay. You can keep the mic. Oh, Sabine, go ahead and say it.
10,000 followers on Instagram and YouTube. Let's go there.
10,000 follows. How close are you on YouTube?
I just started, so I'm about 2,000 in.
2,000 in? Okay. So you're 2,000 in on each?
Right, yeah.
Okay, great.
But I've been doing YouTube videos for a few years now, so I haven't utilized
I need to help
properly. You. Pardon?
I got to help you.
I know.
Okay.
Why do you think I'm here?
Okay, so there's like an 8K gap there, right? All right, so you probably need to learn all kinds of things, like what kind of content to post, when to post, how to post, what gets views, how the algorithm works, all that kind of stuff. So I'm going to make a list of all those things. You see?
Just for me?
Yes, because you're our audience, if you think about it, right? Okay, you complete me. All right, so what I would do is I would make a list of the gaps.
Okay.
And now that starts to become a roadmap for the content strategy. So the gaps live here, right? Now, here's the thing. You may have many challenges in your life. I can't solve them all. So I'm looking at, for me, what are my interests? Right? Where am I strong? What kind of skills do I have? I think about those things. Okay? Does that make sense? And I'll make a list. Okay, so I like to teach. My background's in video. I make video, right? I enjoy helping people. I want to help others. I read a lot, and I read about things like, you know, so I go down the list, and then I look for the overlap. Is this starting to help you understand your audience? Okay, so you know your audience really well because you talk to them all the time through the hub, right? So if you're able to make your list, that would be your content strategy. So what I would start to do is to measure highest impact, least effort first. Prioritize that. Have you seen that impact effort graph? You know what I'm talking about, right? Everybody else look it up on the internet.
Unfortunately, I do.
Okay. So you want to do the things that are the easiest to do that gets you the greatest results first. Everybody understand that? Sometimes you screw that up. We do the things that are the hardest to do. I don't know why. That give us the least results. And then we get depressed, like it's not working, we quit and we give up. Do the things that are easy. I like to tell people I'm super lazy. I just want to do the easiest thing possible. And if it doesn't work, I'll make more effort. And I'll keep increasing effort till I get the results that I want. Okay. Are we getting any comments or questions so far on YouTube? So far? So good? Moving on?
All the question is, I answer all of them. So
Oh, Jaden's on top. He's like, I got it, Chris. I got it. How many people are watching this live? 300? 200?
we had 220 people watching.
Okay. Which camera are we on right now? I need to talk to him. This one? Guys, I'm a little hurt. 220. I'm trying to help you get 10,000 follows. Tell a friend right now. I'm going to stop recording in 2 minutes if you don't tell 2 friends, all right? All right, thanks a lot. Jaden, are we taking this live stream off after for 24 hours? We might.
Yeah, we might.
Don't do it. Don't do it? Okay. Sabine says she lives like a busy life. Don't take it away right away. 48 hours? Okay, 48 hours. Okay. Now, I tried to find out like who created this thing, but this is very well known within the marketing community, right? AIDA. You guys have heard of AIDA? You've heard of ABC, right? What is ABC? Always be closing or always be creating. That's cool. AIDA. What does AIDA mean for marketing? Anybody know? It's not like a handicap thing. It's not the Graphic Arts Guild. We know it's not that. We know. Oh my God. Nobody knows it? Okay. You know it? Sabine, tell us. Brain freeze? Yes, you have heard of it. So this is good that you don't know this. Because here's the thing. If I share something new to you today, then you'll walk away with some value. That's my goal. You have given me an investment of your time and attention. I need to return it like in a multitude, right? Then we develop a relationship. So the first one, what is it? Say it into the mic. Say it to the mic.
Attention?
Yes, first one is attention. Great. Grab my attention. Tell me, why should I care? Why should I care? Okay, makes sense? Why should I care? Give me a reason. So this is a benefit. This is about them, not you. I don't know why I put a period there. Them, not you, .com or .u. Okay, it's about them, not you. Okay, everybody understand that? This is really critical. A little while ago, I tweeted out this thing. I want to write a new book, the 100 books that changed my life. And then I think it was Marty Neumeyer who responded back, change the book title, 100 books that will change your life. I'm like, genius, so good, that Marty guy. I think it was Marty, or it could be Blair. I'm sorry if I messed it up, all right? That's what I'm talking about, benefit. You need to grab their attention. We are victims of this all the time. You guys ever go to CNN or Fox and then you're trying to follow a story and they run ads at the bottom? Like, you won't believe how this child star turned out. And you're like, I'm trying to read the story, but I'm so compelled like to click that stupid thing. Pay attention to how they write to you to grab your attention and pull you in. So if you do a quick search like the most effective headlines, you get a list really quick and they involve words like how to. Like, how do you get 10,000 follows on Instagram per week? You see how that works? Okay. The next one is interest. Okay, this is critical. Okay, very critical. You got my attention. If you don't deliver and give me more and build interest, I'm out. So the headline captures my attention. The sub-headline and the body copies build interest. And if you drop here, it's over. And you have to keep building on this, okay? Capture my interest, so you have to give me more. Okay? Now, as it relates to Instagram, you have a total of 8 slides to give me more. That's it, okay? And I'll tell you why it's 8 later and not 10. We'll get to it. So the magic number is 8, guys. I want everybody to know it's like infinity, it's 8. Just think 8, okay? Think 8. 8 is great. 8 is great, okay? 4 plus 4, 8. Okay, next one is desire. Okay, in the desire state, what you're trying to do is to make them imagine now their life change, transform. That's what you're trying to do, okay? Desire. And the last one is,
action.
You said it, action. Lights, camera, action. Action. You want them to go do something. And the way that they talk about this is you want to give step-by-step instructions if you can. Go to your mailbox, pull this out, open the envelope, write this, put $5 in, put a 25-cent stamp, 50-cent stamp, and drop it in the mailbox by Tuesday. They're that clear. This is effective marketing, direct marketing, all that kind of stuff. I want to change one of these things from desire. Okay, I want to change it. For social media, what is desire? I'm going to just give you this thing. Maybe it'll work. Maybe I'll change it later. I'm going to tell you, give me the details. Okay, and I'll tell you why. That's the only difference. Otherwise, it's AIDA just like it said here. Now, you know you have a maximum of 10 slides. Okay, the first slide. Let me change markers here. Questions so far? Everybody okay? You guys all right? Anything? No? Okay. All right. Yes. Yes, thank you. Yes. All right. Let's get down here. So the first slide in your carousel, as I've learned, has to pull me in. This is your magnet. This is your clickbait. This is whatever it is that you need to do to grab my attention. The combination of type and image, there's a formula here. If you can do it right, it works. I've been a little lazy. I just use type, and then my wife tells me, honey, I can't tell what it is. It's all type everywhere. So she told me to put images. So I went on the internet, and I found this image. And I was like, what am I going to do with that? And it's this woman's lip, right? This is her lip. And it's like breaking through a piece of paper. Okay, sorry for the rendering. Okay, all right. Okay, got it? And I put some, I can't remember what I wrote. I just wrote something down here. And it was all pink. This is now my highest performing post. It's got 21,000 likes. For my size audience, that's really good. And it's already earned me over 1,000 follows in one post. That's doing much better. I know you hate me, I know. And that's not even counting the traffic that it brings in for other people to watch or look at other carousels. So it's helped me out a lot. This is a very provocative image. It's mysterious, so I think these are kinds of things that are formulas you want to use. It's not complicated because it's kind of almost like monotone, duotone. It's all pink. It's like pink on pink, and that works. And the combination of image to type really works. And this is what all of you guys are really good at doing for other people. We just don't do a good job for ourselves. Okay, that's the attention part. If you don't have me here, bye-bye. Tell me the benefit. What's in it for me? Why should I care? Okay? Now, here's the interesting thing about the rest of this. I've talked about this before with my pro community. You have to get them to go beyond slide 3. This is super critical, okay? There's momentum being built here. If they can't get beyond slide 3, if it breaks here, I don't think your post is going to perform well. The algorithm will think, no, clickbait, lost me, out. So how can you lose me? You don't tell me anything new. Or, believe it or not, you tell me too much. Because there's a flow. If you think about it, when you're on Instagram, you're swiping, right? Like 1001, 1002. So if it's a 10-second swipe, I'm going to get stuck. Now, you don't want to do that. Don't get stuck on that slide. Who's calling me right now? I'm going to check it out. It's like, okay, good. Okay, here. Okay. It's like, unless it's my wife, the Palisades are on fire again. I better answer that. Okay, so here we are. Now, I made this mistake before. I put the densest, most juicy, value-packed piece of information right around here. Guess what happens? Okay, if they read it all, well, we're done. You gave me all that I needed to know. So the value is right in here somewhere, okay? So this is like a story. There's a car crash, boom, we're jumping into the story, like what happened? And we start to move the camera around, you know what's happened. So we see like one of the wheels fall off. There's some smoke. Another car's upside down. We see a deer. What has happened? So we're going into the car now. We're building into like what's going on. and then we pan to an open bottle of alcohol. Oh, that's what happened. And then there's a twist usually right around here. So nothing is what it seems. And then there's some bullet holes. Oh, it's a little more. You see how you like pull people in? Now, you guys can't see it, but they're all nodding in full agreement. No, yes. You the man. All right. They're not doing that, but I'm just telling the story the way I want, okay? So this is where you have to get really deep into it. This is the juice right here. Most of us, logically, start right here. Tell me what it is that's going to be valuable, right? And what you want to do is you want to educate. Tell me something I didn't know before. Educate. Or tell me a joke. Make it funny. Entertain me. Okay? That's it. That's what you want to do here. And I've tested this theory. I've researched and read books on marketing and pricing and all that kind of stuff, and they give me pretty good views. And then I just take a joke I found on Twitter somewhere, and I cut it apart. I'm like, I wonder how this is going to go. And it does just as well. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I'll get into a little bit of content strategy later. Like, it doesn't even need to be your idea. Most of the ideas I have, all the good ones, come from someone else. All right? So the only thing I want to caution you about, and I'm going to put a post on this too, is if you quote somebody, just quote them. Don't take it and then leave their name off of it. It's weird. It creates bad energy between you and the person who wrote it. Because guess what? At least for me, I have some fans. They tag me and they start like throwing shade on this person. And you think about it. If you take somebody else's idea and you don't give proper attribution, you may get popular. And as soon as you get popular, they're going to trace it back to that one post, and you're a scumbag now. You're a plagiarist, and we all hate plagiarists. So give credit. It doesn't hurt you. In fact, it helps you, right? I wrote something. I tagged Austin Kleon. I put his name all over. I said, go buy the book, whatever. And then he says, private messages me. Thank you. Next thing I know, 2 weeks later, he's on our podcast. And he said, I'll send you a book. Hey, Austin, if you're watching this, you haven't sent me the book yet. I'm just being honest, okay? Right? And I have the same relationship that I'm building with a lot of authors who are like, thank you, man. You're helping me to sell books right now. We all win, okay? So there's good stealing, there's bad stealing. Bad stealing, you don't give attribution at all. Good stealing, you give credit, and you try to steal from more than one person, all right? The last one's action. What do you want me to do now? This is good. So you just tell them one thing to do. Bookmark this. Like this. Comment. Give them a prompt. Tell me what was one of your biggest challenges, or tell me your highest performing post and why do you think that was. So you give them a reason to engage with you, and this is really critical. Okay? Or you can say, hey, if you have a question for the next 2 hours, I'll answer them. That way, that generates your next post. Isn't that awesome? Yeah? So now we get back to why it's 8. Why it's 8. Because you basically lose 2 slides.
First and the last one.
First one and last one, right? This is why you need to focus on the magic 8, okay? How many slides you need to think about? 8. Oh my God, it's a bunch of designers. How many slides you need to think about? 8. Much better. Awesome, guys. Great job. Okay. Any questions so far? Remember, you got to get them past number 3. If you can't get past 3, you're in deep trouble. So keep it light. Give me a little bit more. And one thing I like to use is when we do storyboarding, when I used to teach sequential design, I told them, use the speaking metaphor. Every time you take a breath, every time you put a comma, new slide. I looked at some of my earlier posts before I figured this stuff out. They were so dense. This is good news. What I should have done was I should have taken that one dense slide and broken it into 4 slides. Why is that good news? I have way more content to share because I don't have to put so much in 10 slides. This is critical. This is how you can do 2 a day. Don't try to put too much in. There's obviously the opposite side, which is there's nothing here. It's like cotton candy. There's nothing. It feels like I'm eating something, but there's nothing there. Okay. Everybody, are you like, I have ideas now? I don't even know what's on this page. Oh, there's something on this page. Not a lot. Let's recap. Okay? We're almost at the end of this, what I'm trying to do here. Let's recap, guys. Let's summarize. What do you need to do?
2 posts a day.
2 posts a day. So frequency. Thank you. Frequency and consistency is key. I've tested this. I posted 1 every 3 weeks. I got some follows. I posted once a day, and I've done as many as 5 a day. Guess which one gets me more follows? There's no mystery. Believe it or not. Now, 5 a day, you guys are going to faint. You're like, I have a job, I have children to raise, I have a spouse to argue with, whatever. I can't do 5 a day. Go for 2 a day and see what happens. Okay? Now, when you post, when should you post? When? Okay, you want to look at your analytics. You guys know what analytics are? Everybody? Everybody here have analytics? Yes? If you don't, you need to switch to a business or a creator account. It's easy. You just hit a button. I thought like you have to apply or something. No, just hit a button and it lets you do it. And you get your analytics. And if you look at, they'll give you I think it's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. They give you a little chart like that. And then I think they tell you the time too. So my time is usually around 7 a.m., something like that, to like 2 p.m. But I've done a test. I posted at midnight. I still get follows. Probably not a good rule of thumb for you guys. And then all of a sudden, it used to be Los Angeles was my highest engaged audience, and then it became Indonesia. 12 p.m. must be a hot time for them or something. That's what I'm thinking. I don't know why. So if you put a good piece of content, quality here, put a good piece of content out, the time doesn't matter as much, but try to hit it when your audience is paying attention. The next thing is you need to engage. You got to engage with them, okay? And this is really critical. So I usually reserve about 1 to 2 hours to respond to every single comment. And if you've ever followed me, if you ever made a comment, I either heart or I give you a sarcastic answer, I harass you, or I give you an answer. One of those 3 things will happen, right? I literally am going through, my son's like, what do you know? I'm like, hold on. Okay, let me answer this, okay? All right, now I'm gonna give you a shortcut because people always ask me this. How many people are working in your account? How many people work on my account? 1, me. How is this possible? I live a highly optimized life. Okay, I'll give you a little hack here. So this is the first hack I'm going to give you. How many of you guys use an Apple device? Raise your hand. Almost. I know, right? Right, there are 2 Apple snobs here, Sabine and myself, right? So here's the hack. If you go into keyboard setting, right? I think there's something like text replacement. Have you guys ever done this? Yeah? Have you guys done text replacement? No? Yeah, okay. Open up your phone, go into your preferences, go into your keyboard, do it right now, everybody. Go check it out, and I'll do it with you. It's shortcuts. It's called shortcuts? Yeah, thank you. It's called shortcuts. Thank you. What's your name? Thanks, Nancy. Nancy's the best. I'm going to write Nancy's name here. Nancy? Nancy, you have a big Instagram following?
No.
What's your Instagram handle?
At
Nancy XD?
Yeah.
You must like XD.
I just wanted to see how many times you could put my name in these.
Okay, and how many follows do you have?
911.
Woo.
912.
I like 911. Okay. Okay, we'll get Sabine's information here. You go. So Nancy XD, you guys can follow her if you want. Okay, she's smart. She's telling us to go to shortcuts. What I do in shortcuts, I change all the things, right? So I type very little to save me a lot of time. So you guys will know this. I type in YVW. You're very welcome. I type in SRRY. Sorry, I can't give you individual critiques. I hope you understand. Love you. I write full phrases. I even use them for my hashtags because you don't have to go and copy paste anymore, right? Smart, right? I learned it from somebody else. Okay, so I use something like what I use, Biz HT1 because I have many hashtags. So I use about 30 hashtags that my friend at Dave Tallis, he's awesome. You guys should follow him. Okay, he does similar things as me, teaching people how to grow on Instagram. So it gives me about 30 hashtags. Boom, I'm done. I don't have to think about it. It's awesome. Okay, that also is the cap. You cannot do more than 30 hashtags. If you do more than that, something funny happens. So don't do more than 30 hashtags, okay? So this is what I do, right? I type in API. I appreciate it. I type in TFS. Thanks for sharing. It's optimizing my life. It's all built in, no extra plugins, totally free. Totally free is a good price, right? Yes, okay. So engage with your audience. Why should you do this? Because I want to reward my audience for paying attention. And after that, I don't know if I always respond. I try to, but I can't always. So I prioritize those people. Now here's the next beautiful thing is, this is what they call kind of generative. You guys know that word generative? It's kind of a fancy word, right? Things that generate more things. right? Something like that. So like generative art, like fractals, you know, you just keep zooming and it just keeps making more stuff. I read the comments, and if I keep seeing the same kind of comments and questions, that's another carousel, right? I don't have my notebook here, but then I just jot it down in my notebook, okay? So I'm an analog kind of guy. In order for me to be able to post 5 times a day, I have a book full of ideas, literally, in my notebook. Like if you guys want to pick up an amazing notebook, you can, or field notes or something like that. If you look at my notebook, it looks something like this, right? And it's very small, it's like that. I draw a line across, I divide it in half and divide it in half. Guess what? There's my 8 frames. And I jot down the ideas. Sometimes I have the whole idea mapped out. Sometimes I have fragments. I need to get them down. And later on, when you see me do my masterclass on this, you'll see, oh my God, that was the note, that was the carousel? Yes. Sometimes I can get a carousel done in 30 minutes because it's already been planned. I want to do this here, right? Here's another little thing I do. I leave a little gap between this and my next grid. And I'll tell you why. Oh, I messed that up. That's horrible. Bad designer. I leave room here so I can write little notes like, oh, think about this. So there's a little room for me to add other ideas without making it all messy. Okay, so that's what I do. So if you're really super good, you should use both sides, right? And it will look like that. It's going to look amazing. And when you get super famous and big doing this, this becomes a really beautiful artifact that then you share too. It's so generative. That's how it works. Okay? This makes sense so far?
Yep.
Reward people. Give them a call to action. You can. And next thing I'm going to say is write something witty, if you can, if you're a witty person, but personal. Tell me a story in the caption. It's very important. There's a few people who can get away without doing this, like Beeple. He's at over 1 million follows because he makes amazing art every day. Who cares? Write a witty personal caption. Use the hashtags, add a call to action. You're going to do really well. Okay. Let's talk about hashtags for a second. I don't want to get out of my league here. You're allowed 30 hashtags. Okay? Somebody told me if you use too many, it's not good. So I don't really know what the rule is. Nobody knows what's going on. Use some, not too many, but not more than 30. Now, there's a balance here, okay? When you search for hashtags, you need to have a mix of high, low, and medium search traffic, okay? Now, you want a couple low ones, like, you know, average search for this yields like 100K or less than 100K, let's say 50K. That's not a ton of people looking for that. That's fine. And then high is like 1 million plus, right? It's very hard to compete against those people, but it doesn't mean you shouldn't try. The ones in the middle are, so you want a mixture of these, okay? Do a couple low so you become really well known for something, and that's good. Builds traction. You're teaching the algorithm and other people we're kind of related. And if you don't know, the best thing I can give you is a shortcut without any fancy tools. Look at somebody that you like, that you think you want to compete against, that has a good size following. Look at their hashtags. Copy paste into like some program, and then research each one of those. Your goal is to be top 9. You know what I'm talking about, top 9? When you search for hashtags, there's a magnifying glass. You want to be somewhere here. If you're not, there's a good chance that people are not going to look for you. Anywhere in there, you're golden, okay? I didn't talk about IGTV, embedding video. Those are all good things. Those are also features they want you to use. I'm just super lazy. That's all, right? So this is the fastest way I know how to do this. I'm pretty sure there's other things I forgot to talk about, so I'll open up for questions and we'll wrap this segment up. Any questions so far?
So while I have the mic.
Yes, please.
Talking about video because
Sabine, what's your Instagram?
Paper Specs at Paper Specs.
Paper?
Specs.
Specs.
Paper like this paper, SPECS.
Paper Specs.
I do a lot of videos and I try to keep them under the minute.
Yes.
But that's where the IGTV comes in. So do I not?
Do you
go for the longer?
Do you what?
Do I go for the longer videos or not?
Yeah. So what you do is you post on IGTV and then you do some linked version on Instagram. I think that's how that works, right? And I just saw some new announcements for Premiere that they can do this auto recentering thing, which is like, oh my God!
Oh yeah.
You know, now
Jason talked about that.
Let's talk about this for a second. Adobe always picks exactly the right clip, and they just do these perfect demos, right? And you get home, you're like, wait, it's like looking at a cat. I don't want that. Yeah, in real life, but that's a really cool idea to do the center cut. So you always want to produce content that's natively designed for this format. Here's the analogy that I have for you, and I talked about this earlier, is that radio was the dominant media form, right? So when they went to TV, they produced TV programs like radio, static camera, people just read, super boring. And then they realized we can move the camera and we can cut and we can cross this off, we can do all. So then TV became its own thing. Same thing is happening right now. It's like, well, I used to make content like this, and I'm going to smash it into this other form. It's not going to reward you for that. So you definitely want to do vertical videos. And I think Instagram just recently allowed you to tell people you can rotate it so you can go widescreen now. I don't know if you guys know that. So it's like, oh, okay, we can do that. But ideally, you would have your videos captioned, and you got to come up with a cool headline, the whole bit. You got to follow the rules, okay? It'll do really well. Any other questions so far? Yes.
If you can't create,
what's up, Noah?
Hi. If you can't create like jaw-dropping art every single day, what if you do like one carousel of your idea and then another one of the witty personal stuff as well?
It better be freaking really witty. Okay. I mean, really.
Yeah.
Are you that witty?
No.
Me neither.
No.
I'm not.
Yeah.
And so what I try to do is do the jaw drop. Okay, jaw drop is like, that's a high standard to hit, right? I'd rather be clear and to give value. And then if you can make it beautiful, jaw dropping and be witty, that's like layers on top of the cake. But the cake needs to be there first, right? Be clear. Make sure the type reads. So here's another thing. I want you to design for somebody who's nearsighted, nearsighted, right? Because it's hard for us to read. So when you put like 12-point type, because you're designing something on screen that's ginormous, and then you look at it, it's like, I can't read that. So what I would advise you to do is zoom out of your artboard, whatever program you use, to kind of like roughly the size. So can you read that? If you can't, it's not going to work. Okay?
All right.
So make sure you're designing for the platform and how it's being used. Everybody's using it on mobile. Mobile is where it's at, not desktop.
Yeah.
Mobile. Okay? All right. Another question? I'll take a couple more questions and we'll wrap it up. What's your name?
Dedrin.
What? Say one more time?
Dedrin.
Dedrin?
Yes.
Okay.
When it comes to commerce and you're trying to sell product, should you focus on getting followers first or selling the product?
Audience first always, I believe.
Audience.
Yeah. Because you build credibility. Yeah. So yeah, the rule would be give 10x, take 1x. Okay? Now, I've been able to grow my following. I'm going to hit 200,000 followers pretty soon. Here's a really cool story. People are going to pay me. They are already starting to offer me money to just post on their behalf. That's all I need to do. And I'm a small, like relatively Instagram influencer, so I'll get like, hey Joey, like they've offered $2,000 for a post. I know other people, like graphic designers, artists, $30,000 a post. 3 posts, you made more than a lot of people have made in a whole year. So it's worthwhile, okay? Now your thing in terms of selling product, it shouldn't be selling at all. Get rid of the word sell in your mind. Educate or entertain. Teach me how to use your product. What problem does it solve? Seth Godin talks about this in his book, This is Marketing. He says, build a product or service that matters with a built-in story. And then just share that story. Do you make a product that matters? Okay. So then tell the story. Does it have a built-in story?
Yeah.
You got to say it into the mic if you want anybody here.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Well, that's what you want to do. So you're going to talk about a lot of your why, like why you're doing it, because at the end of the day, all shirts and all things look the same, right? So there's a story there. Okay. Anything else? Any last minute questions? Anything that I know I'm forgetting a whole bunch of things. I had a whole elaborate presentation prepared. I just decided to write it out instead. Anything else? Okay, Jaden, any question from the 220 people that were watching? Huh?
I answered all of them.
You answered all of them. How many people are watching now? 100?
361.
All right, we got 361. All right, since there are no more questions, thank you guys. Thank you very much.